Hello, Bethan Laura Woods. I'm a multidiscipline designer, and my age is I think 37 now. It's I've got to the age where you stop counting it, but I think I'm around that point. And I'm based in London, but I work internationally. I'm really lucky to have amazingly supportive parents. So we were always encouraged, me and my sister, to make things on the kitchen table and to play creatively. And so I've always been making and doing ever since I can remember. I grew up in a medium-sized town in the Midlands called Shrewsbury. I was very aware of the scale of my hometown, and I think from about 16, I was very focused on getting to London and going to the RCA to study. I think at that time I wasn't sure which creative field I wanted to study, but I knew that's where I wanted to go, and so that was kind of my focus from about 16. I always loved the memories of like making with my mum and with my sister, and there's some good blackmail material in photographs that my mum has of me wearing a giant kind of Easter bonnet covered with sweets wrappers, and had hand puppets sticking out the side of bunny rabbits. And yeah, there's some interesting looks even way back then. I spend a lot of time in my bedroom, and me and my sister, actually, we shared a bedroom so that we could have the second room as a kind of play room. So I spent most of my time in that room, drawing and painting and sewing, and if I could create it or make it, I would be there doing it. As you can probably see a little bit from what's behind me, I do tend to have sticky fingers when it comes to objects, so I do keep a fair few things. A lot of my earliest stuff that I made, my mum still has out and on the shelves at home. So I know that she moves them around every once in a while when I come home, and there's a few through from those, especially from the pottery class, because I think it was my first love. There's a wonderful documentary on Picasso called Magic, Sex and Death, but this I've rewatched hundreds of times, I think probably now. It took me a long time to try and feel confident in how to use that within what I wanted to do professionally, and also because objects and design is normally about a dialogue between something that I make for someone else. So I think it took me a long time to find the confidence or be reassured that that was my gift, was to be able to put those things into my design objects rather than restraining it back. You can never really start from nothing, because for us to start from nothing, I mean, you'd have to like strip me to an island, preferably one not too hot, in the middle of nowhere that's never been touched by anything. But then even then, that island is, you could put me in a desert island somewhere, but our impact and the backlog of what's been going on in the history of man, especially in recent mass manufactured man, is going to wash up on that beach and start influencing me. When I'm working, what I look like doesn't isn't a factor that I build in, because it's not about that. When I'm doing something like speaking to you, or going on a walk for myself, or going to a market for myself, or whatever, where my physicality is interacting and is part of the experience, then that's when I'll dress up. And I do that for myself personally, and then also within work, because I've got known for being dressed up, then I will also dress up for work things. But in the workshop, it's much more around safety and warmth. My hoedown pants, which are these kind of roughly leggings that you'll see in a lot of the photographs of me wearing. I normally wear them unless it's incredibly hot, and then I reluctantly decide to go bare-legged. These are something that I found in a vintage store in Brighton, probably when I was in my 1920s. And I used to wear them then, and then promptly woke up one morning and decided they were the most ridiculous thing I could imagine to wear, and that was very silly, and then never wore them again. And then maybe like 10 or 12 years ago, I refound a pair of these and decided, oh my God, they're the best thing in life, and I shall wear them every day. The dots on my face have been there since I was, again, probably 18, no, earlier than Brighton. I think I started putting dots on my face when I was on my foundation year. But then for years before that, it was another makeup that was like white here, green here, and then a diamante here and a diamante here. So that was a staple for many years in my hometown. That's another thing that's pretty much a constant that I've worn for many, many years. I love the scarves of Zandra Rhodes, and I think she's one of the best textile artists and also mixed discipline creatives, So I have quite a few scarves from Zandra that I wear a lot. Nina Yasha, who's the gallery owner of Nilüfer Gallery, I've worked with her now. This is our 10th year of working together, and so getting to be shown historical pieces from her and seeing the things that she finds and puts together, and kind of learning a lot more specifically about Italian design from certain periods. This has been really lovely to be kind of mentored by her and shown this kind of very particular aesthetic and universe that she specializes in. The biggest kind of transformation towards me and color that I had was the experience I had going to Mexico, because this was kind of the first country I visited outside of Europe, let's say. And so I'd really not experienced being in an environment where the kind of core basis of the kind of day-to-day palette is like something else compared to the European, which tends to be a lot softer, a lot grayer, and more muted tones. In Mexico, that the base color is hot pink and bright blue and reds and yellows and these kind of things. So that really sticks in my memory, because it was this kind of physical introduction to living within environments that are built up on different principles to do with color. That I'm a performer, or that because I dress up, I'm taking pictures of myself all the time. I think I'm probably quite normal underneath. I just like to dress up on the outside. Not being able to create or make work and express myself, that would be the scariest thing, to lose that ability. There's nothing more zen for me than walking through flea markets and kind of just visually experiencing the kind of object and colorful world that kind of comes from different spaces and environments in that way. I find that very kind of harmonizing. I find interiors with lots of things in them very calming. If it's an empty interior, I find that more uncomfortable. A mix of going to exhibitions and walking cities, walking places. I like walking industrial spaces, and then flea markets and markets of any sort, food markets, flower markets, living spaces. I just really enjoy living spaces. Distance through detail. I really hope when COVID is better controlled or controllable, that I will get to come to India, because I've never been before. And I know that you have an amazing relationship with color and pattern. And so I think this would also blow my mind a little bit, like when I first went to Mexico. My dream is always to explore something new. So I'd probably put question mark, because that's nothing more exciting than going to a place, discovering it through your physicality being there, and then being able to make a dialogue or work based on that, and meeting people and finding ways to work with them. I love them very much. They're two masks by the wonderful Bergen Pot. He's another designer and a maker person that I find incredibly inspiring, and I really admire his practice and his way of working. They're handmade by him, but they're using a lot of the time ropes or things that are kind of industrially woven. I think you can have a great power in words, but I find them difficult or more challenging, because I'm dyslexic, and so I think for me my association with words is more tricky. Kusama. The phone. Spitalfields Market. Overall, it's normally something by Bjork. So I like Cocoon. And right now, my friend Orlando Weeks is just about to drop a new album. I think he dropped a new song yesterday. So this is my go-to song right now, because I'm really excited to hear what he's been making. In the UK, or when I'm at home, is Spitalfields. And then when I was traveling, flea markets in Japan, they're amazing. It's probably also the flea market. Stuff, lots of stuff. A big bunch of keys, half of which I don't know what they're for, but I can't let go of them. Normally some multicolored lipstick that I use for my dots. A pair of earrings quite often, because I'll often take them off if I go to sit down, or my bracelets when I go to sit down. Otherwise I fiddle with them all the time. My phone, headphones, normally something to write with, or a pencil, or maybe my sketchbook. It depends how big my bag is that day. If I remember correctly, this is from Uzbekistan. That I thought I'd wear a bit of color for you today. This is something that I can't wear in my workshop. So this is definitely for non-workshop based days. If I'm being a naughty girl, a really tasty bread, because as I said, it's my my go-to. I like an oat milk latte. That's a passion I have for the morning for the wake up, and some fruit. I would say the combination of blue and yellow, because this is the color of the wallpaper that would be was in the bedroom of me and my sister in the playroom that we had. It's probably a brown, because I remember them in a brown jacket. But it's probably gray. It's Monday. Often on a weekend I will go for a walk in a park, so probably a green. Colors are too nice to try and force association to COVID upon them. That's mean to the colors. For me, I've always wanted to bring joy within the work and the things that I bring. So I think more than ever, the importance of keeping hope and joy and optimism through creativity and allowing people to find expression for what otherwise can be very difficult time.